markets evolve, the industry evolves, and they're all around change agents. And Dr. Sander had mentioned, new product development caused by structural change. Well, in my opinion, there's been some recent change agents that have forced the industry to change. What are they? Well, electronic trading occurred in the mid-1990s, right? And that was basically spurred on by technology, right? The advent of the computer and applying computer technologies to our industry. It's a natural evolution. Well, what that really created was decimalization. And what's decimalization? You heard more than one person probably mention that we've changed from spreads that were measured in fractions, right? Eighths, fourths, sixteenths, into decimals, pennies. So that instantly shrunk margins, right? All the market makers out there instantly lost money the day that this happened, right? So they needed to find other opportunities and take advantage of this new decimalization. And then finally, Reg NMS, right? The national market system. This was really our first taste of having the government and the regulators get directly involved within capital markets and affect how we do business. But with all this change, creates opportunity, right? With change, there will be opportunities. So what happened from there? Well, we had the creation of electronic communication networks, things like Instinet and Archipelago, right, to name a couple. You basically had electronic management systems or order management systems, high-frequency trading. Things become electronic, margins shrink, fragmentation from Reg NMS. What drove that? That's how high-frequency trading was invented. Not because we could take advantage of speed, but because there was an opportunity there, and the opportunity was taken advantage of. Okay. But what was the hiring profile? How did that change? And that's really what I'm here to talk to you about, is when you see opportunities, what are you going to do to prepare yourself for it? Well, the hiring profile changed when technology entered from hiring finance people in these industries and hiring floor traders to going into the best universities in the world and looking at engineers and mathematicians and physicists and those who could combine those capabilities with finance, right? I mean, I remember coming out of Illinois as an engineering degree, I did not have an opportunity to go an internship for a prop trading firm. You guys have a wealth of opportunities, and I want you to be able to understand it, take advantage of them, and look at what's changing in the industry. And I'm going to give you another example of them. And the reason why I'm speaking to you today is because I saw an opportunity based on all the innovation that was going on within the front office, right? Decimalization, Reg NMS, and all those things forcing innovation on the front office, but really nothing going on in what we traditionally call the back office. Okay, now whether it's successful or not, whether Firm58 becomes successful or not, is really up to me and the people who work with me and see if we can execute on our model, right? But at least I'm trying. There's ambition there. And I would like to think, as Mr. Duffy mentioned, that we're doing it with a high moral compass, right? That you all will maintain your humility when you become successful, and you will all maintain some form of graciousness, and you will remember to say please, and you will remember to say thank you, and you'll remember to say excuse me every now and then, right? Those are the kind of things that'll keep you pointed in the right direction when you do recognize one of these opportunities and you move into that phase. So what's going on today? Well, the change agents today may not have been as positive, so to speak, as what we occurred, say, in the last 10 years, right? We had the flash crash of 2010, right? Basically created around technology and the involvement of technology in the industry. Another one, Knight Capital, right? Well publicized. Knight Capital had an issue, $400 million plus trading issue that caused it to merge with Getco here in Chicago. Hurricane Sandy, right? Hurricane Sandy affected the markets like they've never been affected before, right? Shut down the New York Stock Exchange, as an example. And I can go on and on with these change agents, right, which occurred. But what has this really driven? What's the opportunity that I can see? Well, the reaction has been a massive increase in compliance and regulation. There's the opportunity, right? This is just one, keep in mind, and it's just an example of what you should be taking advantage of. But with massive increases in compliance and regulation, what are you guys doing as your internship? And I should ask you, how many internships are in, say, the algo group in a prop trading firm? Right. Or at the SIBO. I know there's a lot of kids here at the SIBO. My question is, how many interns are in the compliance or regulation department of your firms? Okay. Nobody raised their hand for the algo group, which is what it would have been 2-3 years ago. And I saw people raising their hands in compliance and regulation. So you can see things are shifting, right? The significance and importance is becoming on par with the revenue generating side of the business. Well, why? Because you've got significant regulatory bodies stepping up their game and enforcing these actions. What are they? Dodd-Frank, Basel III, anti-money laundering, and a slew of others. And those are just in the United States. What about when you combine them with the European and Asian regulations? And as we start to trade globally every single day, somebody's going to step up and fill these jobs and fill these positions, right? So what's happening? I mean, the enforcement of these actions, why is it significant? Okay, Hold Brothers is a company in New York, fined $5.9 million. LPL, one of the largest retail brokerages, fined $9 million. Direct Access Partners, they're gone in a week. And we can go on and on and on. Just look into the SEC's website and you'll see fine after fine after fine. So Mr. Duffy mentioned branding. Right? Well, why does he care about branding? Because it's the public perception of our industry is failing right now. And why is it failing? Because everyone knows of these issues, right? I mean, I can remember when I was a kid in 1987, I was a junior in high school. My dad ran one of the biggest clearing firms in Chicago, Goldberg, and the market crashed, right? And it was bad, right? It basically almost shut down Goldberg and shut down First Op, and clearing, as Junan mentioned, the clearing firm suffered immeasurably. But nobody really knew about it. The market recovered just as it's recovered now. But because of the media, everyone knows about every single thing today, right? So we need to improve our public image. And how do we do that? Well, maybe we start advertising things of our industries like, days without incident, how they do in manufacturing, and start publicizing that. Days without fines, right? I mean, that would help. Right? Those kinds of things, those radical changes in our industry, how we publicize ourselves, need to change, and those jobs need to be filled. And those jobs need to be filled by every single market constituent, whether you're an exchange, whether you're a broker-dealer, whether you're a prop trading firm. They're going to exist, right? And in my opinion, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, right? Let's stop, right, the incident before it ever occurs. Well, where's that responsibility fall? It falls on the responsibility of every single individual in this room and every single organization in our industry. It's personal responsibility. Right? We need to regulate ourselves within our own companies before the self-regulatory bodies regulate them, before the SEC and FINRA regulate us. Right? It starts internal. And it's going to start with you guys. Right? So now, what's the emphasis? The emphasis in firms is starting to build overall compliance and regulatory programs. And what's the hiring profile there? What do you guys think? Well, you got to understand, the industry itself. So finance is still pretty important, right? You might not have to be a trader and understand how to generate alpha and all those kinds of things that you've been learning about, right? But you probably need to understand the law more so than most. The combination of engineering and law was important in patent degrees. Now the combination of law, finance, and math is going to be important to compliance and regulation. Okay. So, in closing, right, Firm58, by the way, doesn't have much to do with compliance and regulation. But I'm trying to give you an idea of recognizing opportunities and to challenge you and to see, will you be ready? Right? Will you be ready when you graduate in 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years? Because this is what's coming. All the luck in the world. Thank you.